Aquarius, Taurus, Scorpio, and Leo. What is coming in for my fixed signs as we move through Taurus season here? This is blessings. This is opportunities. And remember, Spirit is guiding me to remind everybody who's watching this that blessings and opportunities do not always present as such. Sometimes they present as challenges, as things that force us into our greatness. So we'll see what comes up here. We have guilt coming out here as the first card. And politics. This is interesting, right? So I see why Spirit wanted me to put out this disclaimer now. This is a lot of mental anxiety and stress about situations that were really outside of our control, but also about situations where we presented ourselves in a way that was not authentic, that was not genuine. I'm feeling this energy of like situations that occurred as a direct result of our inability to speak our truth, stand in our power, or of our desire. It's like the desire to be seen in a certain light, or the desire to get what we wanted, right? So this is manipulation, perhaps through people pleasing, through pretending to be something or someone, or to want something that we don't or that we are not. But there's a powerful breakthrough here. We have breakthrough and awareness coming out. And suppression. So this is a breakthrough and this is awareness of the aspects of ourselves that we have suppressed or repressed as a direct result of our desire to get something that we thought that we needed, or to be seen in a certain light. And when we're desiring to be seen in a certain light, it really is because we're trying to get something that we need, right? Or that we believe that we need, whether this is validation, approval, whether this is a job, whether it could be anything, right? Basically fill in the blank. But it's this understanding that we misrepresented ourselves. But I feel like some people watching this may not have even recognized that that's what they were doing. All right, because our true needs, our true self, our true desires and motivations were so suppressed and repressed. So there's this powerful awareness coming through of what it is that we really want, what it is that we really need. For some people, who even like the next version of who we really are is coming to the surface. And now, ooh, okay, this is where the guilt really comes in. Now, there's a sense of guilt because we realize that what we have going on in our lives right now is it's not what we want. And for some people, this means moving on or letting someone or something go. For other people, this simply means like we have to share our truth and we're not sure how the other person is going to take it. And it's almost like it's, so the ridiculous example that I'm being shown right now is like being catfished, right? Which is when, like in dating apps and stuff like that, you send a picture that's not actually you, or you misrepresent yourself to somebody to get a date with them, which I've never really understood, because ultimately the truth is going to come out, right? If you meet this person, they're going to see that you're not who you said you were. So it's like that kind of an energy here. And it may not be literally like that example, but it's like, you told somebody you were something that you're not. You wanted something that you didn't. You misrepresented your energy. And now you feel bad because this person has completely bought into that. And you're about to flip the story on its head here. Because now that you know your truth, you can't not share it. All right? And it's like trying to keep up this facade is exhausting, all right? My fixed signs are tired here. For some of you guys, you did know, and this actually does have to do with a job or something like that. And in that case, it's like you got the job. Perhaps you misrepresented your ability to do the job, like that you had the skills necessary. And now you realize that you don't. and the learning curve is a lot steeper than you thought. Or perhaps you just had to represent yourself as a certain kind of person, and pretending to be that kind of person all the time is making you really tired. For some people, it's about playing the game too. It's like, in order to maintain your status, you have to hide certain aspects of who you are. Like an example that's coming to mind here is like misogyny in the workplace, right? Being a woman in the workplace, you have to put up with that in order to continue to rise in the ranks. That would be like an example here that's coming to mind. Yeah, the energy of the outsider. You don't fit into this situation, this relationship, this job. And you're really coming to realize that on a deep level. And now you're like, well, what do I do? Where do I go from here? So the blessing coming through here is the awareness of this, right? Because originally it might have been something that you thought that you could work with. Or for people who didn't even know they were misrepresenting themselves, it's like you didn't know that, but you felt there was that sense of uncomfortability under the surface here. All right, the burden of that you were carrying. Even if you didn't realize it, you might have just manifested as like tiredness. Like we got the exhaustion card as like muscle aches, not feeling well, anxiety, a sense of depression. But now at least you know what the cause is, even if the solution is uncomfortable. And in the event of a job or something like that may require a change of job, change of location. If this is a relationship, definitely a change of partnership, or at least a coming clean and sharing more of your truth, which is always scary, right? Because then that we get to that point of like, okay, are they still going to feel the same way about me? All right, but it's like, you need to know. That's where this has come to. It's like, you can't stand the not knowing anymore. And you definitely don't have the energy left to keep pretending. We have silence and the rebel coming out. So this is you tapping into your Aquarian energy here. This is you tapping into your Uranian energy. This is you getting, this feels to me like a little bit like the calm before the storm here. Let me feel into this for a second. This is you getting ready to break free. Tell me more. For some of you guys, this realization might have come through during the full moon in Scorpio. But you're about to shake things up. You're about to do things differently. You're digging deep within yourself. I think this card, I don't know, I think this might actually represent the Emperor in the traditional deck here. I'm feeling very Emperor vibes here. But also those Aquarian vibes, like we said. Conditioning, morality, which relates to justice. All right. Conditioning is the devil. Yeah, so there's really some energy here that you're being asked to push through right now. This energy has to do with your faith and belief in yourself. And if you guys haven't watched the 3 themes of Taurus season reading that I did, this is so aligned with that. Go ahead and check out that video. I will link it at the end of this one for you. For those who haven't, it'll be at the very end. You'll be able to click on it. Some people haven't been able to find it, so I'm going to keep it on there a little bit longer. All right, so this is like breaking free of the limitations that you placed upon yourself, the stories that you allowed to define who you were, right? The things that happened to you, the experiences that you had, the conditioning that was placed upon you by your family, by society, by yourself simply attempting to fit in. A lot of star seeds and light workers, which are the bulk of the people who are watching these readings and finding this channel, we always feel like we don't fit in. That's one of the ways that we know that we are much more connected to our starseed lineage than, say, the average person, because we're all starseeds, right? Nobody's really native here. But it's this that energy of always feeling like the odd one out. All right. For some reason, I'm getting the fable or the story of the ugly duckling, the swan who grows up with the ducks, who's raised by the ducks and always looks different and is not as attractive, not just different, right? And really gets down on itself because it doesn't look the way the other ducklings look. It doesn't behave the way the other ducklings behave. And then one day as they grow up, the swan turns into this beautiful, graceful creature, right? And so it's that energy for some people. It's like you were the duckling, you're becoming the swan. All right, that's ultimately where you are headed. But it requires letting go of the conditioning, letting go of the programming, letting go of this idea that you have to be like other people, that your value and your worth is dependent upon being accepted by these people that you don't fit in with anyway, right? Isn't that like the kicker to all of this? It's like the people that we want so badly to love us are not even in alignment with us, right? So it's like breaking through those old belief systems, breaking through those restraints that you placed upon yourself. No longer being silent. That's what the silence with the rebel means. It means breaking the silence. All right, we have the dream and slowing down here. So I feel like what Spirit's also saying for us here is like, the slowing down is the Knight of Pentacles here. All right. And the dream, I believe, is the Six of Cups. So it's this energy of like, take it bit by bit, step by step. Now that you're having these realizations, you might want to like definitely come clean, own your truth, but do it in a way, especially if this is related to a job, do it in a way that's comfortable for you. All right. You don't have to like walk right in and announce how you really feel and throw your cards all out on the table and quit the next day. All right. There are steps that you can take. Start being a little bit more of who you are. Start putting some other things into place and either leave the job when you're ready or allow it to naturally phase itself out when you become more, when you own your energy more, right? It's this energy of like, set that vision for your life. Spirit's saying it's, as this all becomes clear, it's going to be really clear what you don't want. All right. And that's a beautiful gift in and of itself. But what do you really want? What is that dream that you have for yourself? And what are the little steps that you can take toward that today? What are the little steps that you can take toward aligning with that vision for yourself, for your life? And Spirit says with the Six of Pentacles here as well, or Six of Cups rather, look to the past. If you want to understand your present better, look to the past. That will help you understand where some of these faulty belief systems were created, where some of this conditioning was created. It'll show you there are valuable lessons to be learned from the past. Because as you're moving forward, you're wanting to create something different. You're not wanting to recreate what you've already had. And that's what you've realized that you've been doing. You've been recreating those same old storylines, the same old limitations. You've been placing yourself in the same box. And so it's like, know what you did. What is that quote that they say? Like, history is like, something about how history is doomed to repeat itself if we don't remember, right? Like everything just happens in cycles because we forget what happened in the past. And then the whole energy just plays out again because we haven't actually changed anything within ourselves. And in the history sense, like when we're looking collectively, it would be within each individual self that changes the greater whole, right? What else? Tell me more about this message here with the Six of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, I feel like you guys are going to be spending some time alone. Some of you guys, there's definitely a breakup going on here as well. And maybe you're missing somebody from the past. Somebody that's kind of like your comfort blanket when things go awry. Or you're missing something. It doesn't have to be a person for everybody, but it's like something that you typically take comfort from. You're being drawn back to that thing. If this is a person, it could be a water or an earth sign. Spirit's saying, don't fight. Simply trust and allow. Don't be in resistance. Your instinct might be to fall into resistance here. Resistance of the breakthrough, resistance of the truth. resistance to what needs to happen next. Spirit's saying there's going to be a leap of faith required here. You're going to have to trust, like this figure here, trust that you can fly. What if I fall? But darling, what if you fly? All right. That's what this is. And what guidance do we have for anyone who's being drawn back to a person, an old coping mechanism, an old security blanket, basically? There might be some loneliness that people are experiencing for a little while here. We have control, which is like the Knight of Swords or the King of Swords here with nothingness. There's just this energy of relinquishing control. The need to relinquish control. The need to clear the mind. To empty the mind. And I feel like that's what the coping mechanisms are for some people that they're being drawn to. It's anything that takes you out of your mind. The Spirit's saying, find some new ways to quiet your mind, to soothe your mind, that are not self-destructive or that don't lead you back to people, places, and things that you left for a reason. It's okay to be alone for a little while. It's okay to be empty. You've been empty for quite some time, even if you didn't realize it. And in order, allowing yourself to become, it's like you were feeling empty and you were filling your bucket with things that it was almost like the water that, if we're going to use the analogy of filling our cup, right? The water was evaporating as soon as it entered your cup because it was not truly sustaining. It was not truly, we'll use hydrating for lack of a better word right now. And so it's like, the water that was left within the cup was tainted. So in order for you to become full, you must become fully empty first. You must flounder in that period of not knowing. You must perhaps spend some time alone. And there is where the harmony is finally restored. Very much like a hermit kind of vibe here, letting go. 8 of Cups on the bottom of the deck. Yeah. That will lead to a deeper sense of understanding of yourself, of your situation, of your wants, your needs, your desires, and how to move forward from here. All right, I love you so much. If you guys want a personal reading, energy healing, any of the things that I offer, if you want to sign up for one-on-one coaching with me, all of that information is in the description box below. If you didn't like this video yet, go ahead and do so. Let me know, is this resonating for you? Are you feeling these themes? I know this is heavy, intense stuff for my fixed signs. I'm a fixed sign, so I get it. But just know that, like we said, this is all about blessings. These are blessings. This awareness and the change that this initiates is the greatest blessing of all. All right, talk to you soon.